Get ready to embark on an economic journey as we unveil the heartbeats of the Rwandan business landscape. This is the Business Age, your front row seat to the economic renaissance of the land of 1,000 hills. Join us as we traverse the bustling markets of Kigali, delve into the success stories of Rwandan entrepreneurs, and explore the dynamic forces shaping the nation's economy. From the boardrooms to the street vendors, we'll bring you the voices of the visionaries and the minds behind Rwanda's economic evolution. Discover the fusion of tradition and technology, witness the agricultural innovations transforming rural communities, and explore the cutting-edge innovations propelling Rwanda into a new era of economic prosperity. From the city lights to the rural landscapes, every business is a story waiting to be told. A very good evening. Thank you so much for tuning in to today's episode of The Business Age. On this edition, we'll take a closer look to some of the startups that are leveraging space technologies to solve some of our most pressing challenges. You will be with me, Naringwa Fiona Muthoni.
First of all, the initiative of having startups in the space sector is again aligned with our vision. So our goal is to develop a sector. So we collaborate closely with the private sector, the academia, and of course government institutions, the triple helix of innovation. So in this perspective, when we talked about startups, we really look at how we can enable the private sector growth in terms of, as far as space is concerned. That means we know very well that as a space agency, we cannot be able to develop all the solutions that are needed. So we partner closely with the private sector. We invest in developing capabilities, their capabilities. We're investing in making sure that there is the right infrastructure for it. We mentioned the geospatial hub, the national teleport. So there are a lot of infrastructure facilities that we're investing in to make sure that they can be able to grow their own solutions. So, and we are building the capacity, meaning that through programs such as the iStar, standing for innovation for space tech acceleration in Rwanda, but also different other capacity building programs, being short or long term, that we are discussing with. So basically, we are trying to build an ecosystem with the startups, with the academia that can be self-sustainable. So for startups, we believe that these are good solutions that not only can serve Rwanda, but can also be exported.
Space is a very important field, especially in Rwanda, because although it is new, but it is very useful to have this space and specifically a program related to space engineering, because it will allow Rwandan to get real-time data in all sectors, being agriculture, being infrastructure, in all domains of the life of Rwandans. The role of academia is very key in this sector, because nothing can move without research. And the academia is like the pool or the brain where people sit down, do the research, find out how other people have done around the same. So without involvement of academia, any industry cannot move. So this is like a pépinière of the development. So without education, no development. So in the same line, education, universities, can be involved at early stage in the development of any sector?
One, I would mention the conducive environment. So for us, as the regulator of the sector, we are in charge of ensuring that we put in place not only the regulations, but also the policies and strategy to make sure that people can be able to develop the solutions. The CTO mentioned about flexibility, which is very crucial to us to make sure that people get the right environment. Second is the infrastructure. So not everyone is able to invest in kind of data centers to host this all geospatial data and allow the computing power. So government has been investing in such platform, the National Geospatial Hub, to make sure that we can give room or access to startups, to people doing research, who can to get access to data, which is crucial to develop the application they need. So regulations, infrastructure, but also capacity building. So through programs such as this one that we're talking about today, but also other programs that we are structuring together with the academia. So we want really to develop the capacity building that is needed so that our people can be competitive on the market.
Young people are excited to be involved, especially in our department. Our students have grouped themselves into clubs, and some of them have developed drone from the scratch. They are currently developing their prototype. One developed a drone, another has developed a robot. So they are keen. So they want to move from theory to practice. Really young Rwandans, young students at the University of Rwanda, they are keen in transforming their theory into practice.
From transforming agriculture to reshaping real estate, these startups are harnessing the power of Cosmos to solve real-world challenges.
We started this year around January, and we came up with this idea mainly because of the different factors we're seeing out there in mainly Rwanda. Basically, there was floods, and for example, there was flood in Gisenyi that over 1,000 people were displaced, and Rwamagana is facing a 40% loss in their production. And seeing this really led us to sit down and say, this needs to be addressed. And basically what we did is create a solution that tackles both that and the fact that most of the population of Rwanda is, about 80% of it are farmers, right? And so we decided to, because we know the pain of being a farmer and how a farmer feeds the whole nation. Without farmers, we're not in place. And realizing the fact that farmers are the lowest in the food chain and they don't have the financial stability that everybody else has, it led us to sit down and say, is there no way we could tackle this problem, both these problems at the same time? And that's how Blink Earth came about, where we help farmers to get more finance, and then we also help combat this climate change that affects mostly our farmers, but also everyone, because when a flood comes, the whole place has to evacuate and homes are destroyed and lost.
Basically, it's a web application that utilizes physics formulas like using the amount of the power or the rated power, the operating hours, the load, and also uses the integration of geospatial data. For example, the heat maps of a certain location for the business of interest or the factory of interest to provide accurate information about the energy usage and energy wastage in that particular factory. Hence, reducing that wastage by changing, for example, the appliances that they use that emit that or that lose that energy, or by using other methods like using proper installation, hence reducing that wastage. So our user is able to read those data in a period of day, month, and year, so that he can take proper decision towards reducing the cost of energy that he spends on the business.
Our solution is creating an inclusive place for farmers in order to gain financial stability. And we're solving a very critical problem, climate change, that affects everyone and anyone, but mostly affects farmers in their fields, making them have low yields.
With their advanced technology, the startup aims to not just improve farming practices, but also pave the way for a more sustainable approach to agriculture.
We're trying to combat climate change and create a financial inclusive place where a farmer is able to increase their production and on top of that, increase their financial status and stability while leveraging geospatial data. So the whole carbon accounting process requires you to monitor the farmer's farm. So to do that for multiple farmers in Rwanda, which are about 2.2 million, you cannot always be there. We leverage geospatial technology in our monitoring processes to help us do a carbon accounting to generate carbon credits, where we look at various features like vegetation cover, and it helps us know, is the crop growing well, or are there factors that have made the whole process of storing the carbon in the soil void, based on what the farmer has been doing all around the process, and basically just track all that activity that the farmers are doing. And that's how we use geospatial technology in our activities.
We are contributing in the technology space, like by providing that platform that uses sensors to increase the chances of saving energy for the companies that mainly operate in Rwanda, hence saving the amount they spend on the money. So the technology that we mainly use help the factories to reduce the money that they are spending. And our technology is somehow very competitive, as it saves around 25%, while other known technologies save around 20%. They are mainly limited to 20% of saving the energy.
We're currently operating with 106 farmers who have about 816 hectares of land. So it's been a very challenging thing, because the hardest people to work with are farmers. But it is a very big thing for farmers, because they see a very big potential for them to improve their standards, because we don't believe in anyone left behind. So we really wanted to work with farmers in order to help them grow like the rest of us, because the world is forgetting all about the farmers.
The impact that our solution brought: before, companies were losing energy. For example, a company could buy like 10 kilowatts of electricity, and in a month it could be used up. And the company owners could judge the workers that they use, they waste the energy, or they don't use energy well. But since our platform came, they really realized that the problem is not the way they use the energy. The problem is that there is lost energy, or energy is lost, and they don't know that energy is lost. So that they could use 50% of the bought energy and think the whole energy was used towards productivity, yet 50% could be lost. So the impact that it brought: now factories and companies are easily all have information or insights that show them the exact power that they are losing, the power that is not being productive. hence reducing those wastage and reducing the cost they spend on that energy.
These startups are harnessing the power of the cosmos to create smarter, more efficient, and sustainable solutions for a wider range of challenges. For this to be achieved, heavy investments are required.
So we're raising $300,000 in pre-seed funding, and 30% of that is needed in our carbon accounting activities. 25% of that is needed in order to get to access to more farmers, and the remaining will be used in the product development, mainly our machine learning model that analyzes all these different features to give us one fact of how much a farm is sequestering in order for them to be able to generate carbon credits.
So first of all, we need a lot of data. For example, for different geographical areas, as I said before, we use geospatial data. For example, the heat maps. So we need a lot of data of geographical locations of the companies and businesses so that we can increase the accuracy. And we also need partners, as our platform requires sensors, so that they can help us to buy the materials that we can use to install in those buildings and factories, hence growing our company.
Rwanda Space Agency has been working actively to encourage more entrepreneurs to leverage these technologies. Moreover, they are aware that for them to succeed, the right regulations are needed to create a more enabling environment.
Space changes quickly, not only space technology broadly. So we need to act quickly. We need to make sure that we can respond to the needs of the private sector, to the needs of innovation in general. That's the biggest challenge for government, to make sure that we are putting in place an environment that is flexible, that can make sure that we are including all their needs. That's the challenge. But again, with the partnership that we have, making sure that we are having them on board with us when we're developing the regulations, the policies, the strategies. It helps us, again, to understand their needs, where they're coming from, and also making sure that we are taking in consideration all the, I'll say, the angles of the equation. Because when we develop the policies, we involve, of course, private companies, we involve government, we involve all of them together. So I would say that it's work that we do, all of us together, making sure that the regulations and the policies in place are favorable to everyone's. Yes, so the solution to me will be to work hand in hand with all those people we are cooperating with. Yes, so for us now, we are formulating visions to know, because space is broad, we need now to know how we are positioning ourselves as a country, our competitive advantages, let's say in Earth observation, in satellite communication, satellite navigation. So we are narrowing down to know exactly what will be our strength, what kind of projects we should be investing in as a country that can not only grow the sector, but also generate economic impact locally, but also globally. So those are the kinds of initiatives we are fast-tracking for in our policies and strategies, yes.
The main challenge the researchers are facing is the facilitation, so meaning the fund. When a research is launched, a researcher is deeping down to how to find a solution, he may come across with the challenge to get the fund. So the industry may invest in the research, not only the universities do the research, but the partnership with the industry. Because the industry knows what is the challenge outside, then they should approach the academia, the researchers, and find a solution altogether. And the funds comes from the industry.
Data is very scarce everywhere in the world, making it very difficult for us to be able to collect that and feed it to our accounting analysis model, which requires us to go by ourselves in the field, collect the data, and then feed it to create a model that could properly analyze all these different features like soil pH, soil moisture, all that. It needs to analyze it. And to do that, we need to have existing collected data, but we do not have that in Rwanda and the whole of Africa currently. And even if it's there, it is very scarce, making it very hard for us to continue our activities. And getting access to more farmers and cooperatives that would really be willing to work hand in hand with us in order to achieve this journey of a sustainable future.
First challenge we have faced is the technology. The technology that is normally used as we want to increase was challenging a bit as it was somehow not giving results that we needed, and we required to improve it on ourselves. So it required us to bring new ideas and structure things that have not been made yet. Hence, we can improve the accuracy of the readings than other companies could do. So we faced a challenge in the technology, the technology side.
The environment we were in was very amazing, and we got a lot of support, especially because we're also learning how to help the farmers. So we got guidance that we wouldn't have gotten anywhere. It was very tailored to our specific challenges. We were able to receive inputs on how exactly to use the geospatial technology and to basically just get all the data that we need right from it in the right way, and how to input it in our work to facilitate our accounting activities.
We have received support from the ISA startups. For example, through the partnership with Rwanda Space Agency, we got the data that we needed for the site of Masoro, and we also had training programs and technical assessments where we had partnership with the product lab, where they helped us to develop our project and our product and our prototype. Opportunities are many, as many businesses in Rwanda, about 900 and 600, use above 5,000 kilowatts monthly. So we have a large market, and that's the big opportunity as we will approach them. So the big opportunity is that we have market for our product. As in Rwanda, many factories, due to their government policies, they have now shifted to using electricity or reusable energy. So and they are like our main target, as they are also growing. So that's a big opportunity to us.
This is creating numerous opportunities, and collaboration is key to unlocking this.
I believe there's a lot of opportunities out there, because we really, really need geospatial technology involved in all of our lives, because every other developed countries, the population is living a very good life, but we haven't yet reached that level yet. And I believe there's room for improvement, and I believe we can incorporate geospatial technology in our activities, in our day-to-day activities, in order to live a better life for all of us.
The collaboration is very important. One, because the solution from the university will impact what the industry needs. Okay, and at the same time, the industry may look for a solution and then they may outsource the resources, and the resources will come from the industry, from the university. So we cannot separate the industry and academia. So this partnership is very important, especially doing internship. So how come that the industry will grow without having involvement of academia? And how can the academia can evolve without linking with the industry? So this partnership is a marriage. So we cannot divorce from that. We should always be married, academia and industry.
Space requires collaboration. It's a must to collaborate with others, and as far as space is concerned. So we partner with other space agencies. We are members of different international organizations that allow us to share knowledge, to gain experience, to understand the global, I would say, changes and vision of different other partners. So, but what is most important for us is to make sure that the solutions that we are developing are able to benefit not only Rwandans, but other countries, such as especially Africa. So these kind of solutions that the startups are presenting to us today, I would say our goal is now to see how these companies can export these products. So with that vision, we are partnering with different institutions that are established in Rwanda, but also different others to try to see how we can support the startups now go and reach beyond the market in Rwanda. So you also mentioned about how space is benefiting today the lives of Rwandans. So it's at different levels. We have different levels from the policymakers who can be able to understand the impact of disasters, let's say the impact of, I would say the quality of water, quality of air. From the policymakers, we also have other practical solutions that we are developing, such as making sure that there is satellite internet connectivity in the country. So we've been promoting this kind of solutions and licensing operators in this area. So we are moving towards now what we are calling service delivery, ensuring that what we are calling space applications can be able to reach, can be able to be, I would say, at the level of all Rwandans. So that is the goal for us in the next coming years, so that space can not only be in theory, but also can be practical solutions that even those who didn't know that they are using space will now know that they are benefiting from space, and they will intentionally use space applications.
There you've heard it. Space technology is one of the most evolving and emerging sectors here in Rwanda, and it is being used to solve some of the most pressing challenges. Thank you so much for tuning in. You are with me, Naringwa Fiona Motoni.